Madagascar is one of the most extraordinary ecological hotspots on the planet, home to unique species found nowhere else. Lemurs, in particular, offer a fascinating insight into adaptive radiation, where a single ancestral group has diversified into numerous species over time. This presentation explores the evolutionary mechanisms behind lemur speciation and emphasizes the pressing need for conservation to protect this unparalleled biodiversity. My hypothesis centers on the idea that Madagascar's lemur speciation is primarily influenced by three factors: geographic isolation due to physical barriers like rivers, ecological adaptation driven by the island's diverse habitats, and climate shifts that accelerate genetic divergence. These mechanisms together create the unique evolutionary history of lemurs. Overall objectives are the following. First, to provide an overview of Madagascar as a biodiversity hotspot, focusing on its endemic lemurs. Second, to explore how geographic isolation and environmental factors drove lemur diversity. Lastly, to emphasize the critical conservation needs of these unique primates. Madagascar's isolation began when it split from Africa 88 million years ago, creating a unique evolutionary environment. Lemurs arrived approximately 54 million years ago, likely rafting across the ocean. Once on the island, adaptive radiation drove their diversification, with geographic isolation and habitat variation fostering speciation. Today, Madagascar is a global biodiversity hotspot, hosting endemic species that showcase its evolutionary richness. Lemurs belong to the Lemuroidea superfamily and are closely related to lorises and galagos. Over 100 species are recognized, shaped by genetic drift and the isolation of small populations. These species span 5 families, each adapted to unique lifestyles. Lemuridae, or diurnal lemurs, are larger, active during the day, and include species such as ring-tailed lemurs, blue-eyed black lemurs, and ruffed lemurs. Chirogoliidae comprises small, nocturnal species like mouse lemurs and fat-tailed dwarf lemurs, known for their adaptability and secretive habits. Dobintonidae is represented by the unique ii, a nocturnal species with specialized feeding adaptations and distinctive morphology. Indridae includes large, diurnal lemurs such as indres and shifok, which are renowned for their vertical clinging and leaping abilities. Lepilemuridae, or sportive lemurs, are arboreal specialists, relying on a diet of leaves and excelling in navigating Madagascar's forest canopy. Advances in molecular techniques, such as mitochondrial DNA analysis, have revealed cryptic diversity in lemurs, especially in the Lepilemur genus, highlighting Madagascar's exceptional biodiversity. This discovery has sparked debates over taxonomic inflation, where some argue the increased number of species complicates conservation, while others see it as an accurate reflection of hidden diversity. Classification challenges arise from differing species concepts, such as the biological species concept and phylogenetic species concept, which, combined with reliance on genetic data, have created inconsistencies in taxonomy. The rapid expansion of recognized lepilemur species illustrates these complexities, but also raises concerns about limited sampling and oversplitting. Clear and accurate taxonomy is essential for effective conservation, as many lemur species face critical threats from habitat loss and climate change. A unified approach to species delineation is vital to better understand and protect Madagascar's unique biodiversity. The evolution of facial coloration in lemurs is primarily influenced by climatic and ecological factors such as temperature, rainfall, and habitat type, rather than social dynamics. Colder, wetter environments promote darker pigmentation and longer facial hair, aiding in camouflage and environmental adaptation. Unlike many primates, group size and interactions with sympatric species have minimal impact on lemur facial traits, which instead support species and individual recognition. Genetic drift and evolutionary history have further shaped these traits, with ecological pressures like predator presence and resource availability driving divergence. Darker markings often provide camouflage in dense forests, while lighter or more vibrant features may assist in thermoregulation or social signaling. These facial patterns also play a crucial role in mate recognition, helping lemurs identify species, signal dominance, and facilitate interactions in their complex environments. Three main models explain lemur speciation. The Martin model views rivers as barriers isolating populations. The Will model sees rivers as refuges during climatic fluctuations. Lastly, the watershed dynamics model emphasizes geographic features like mountains and valleys in shaping genetic divergence. Together, These models demonstrate how Madagascar's landscape drives speciation. Ecological niches are the specific environments and resources that species occupy, things like temperature, rainfall, vegetation, and geographic features. When a species diversifies rapidly into multiple forms, each adapted to a different niche, this process is called adaptive radiation. Typically, adaptive radiation follows an early burst model, where a species quickly evolves into many forms early in its history. However, Madagascar's lemurs defy this pattern. While they are a prime example of adaptive radiation, their evolution hasn't followed this quick burst. Instead, lemur diversification has remained high over time, suggesting a more complex, ongoing process. This continuous adaptation highlights how lemurs have continued to exploit new ecological niches throughout their evolution, ensuring their survival and the wide diversity of species we see today. Lemurs are a perfect example of adaptive radiation, having adapted to a wide range of ecological niches across Madagascar. For instance, the indri, a rainforest dweller, specializes in consuming young leaves and shoots, thanks to its powerful jaws and efficient digestion of fibrous plants. In contrast, the Varetia variegata, or black and white ruffed lemur, thrives in the same environment but focuses on fruit. With dexterous hands and strong teeth ideal for handling large amounts of fruit, ecological divergence can be seen in species like Lemur flavifrons, which thrives in wet forests, versus Lemur macaco, adapted to dry areas. Allopatric speciation is evident with Lemur calares and Lemur cinereosups, which are separated by the Mananara River. These examples highlight how lemurs evolved distinct traits in response to their environments. Even without physical barriers, climate has played a significant role in lemur speciation. For example, Microcebus mouse lemurs diverged due to habitat fragmentation caused by climatic shifts. Deforestation exacerbates this isolation, increasing speciation but threatening survival. These factors underscore the role of lemurs as indicator species, reflecting the broader impact of environmental change on biodiversity, with 95% of lemurs threatened by habitat loss, hunting, and climate change. Their survival is critically endangered. As biodiversity icons, lemurs embody Madagascar's unique evolutionary legacy and are found nowhere else in the wild, making the conservation of Madagascar's environment essential. Effective conservation strategies must prioritize habitat protection, engage local communities in sustainable practices, and build local capacity by training Malagasy scientists. Understanding lemur diversity and ecological roles is crucial to designing targeted, impactful conservation efforts that safeguard both these remarkable primates and the irreplaceable ecosystems they inhabit. In summary, Madagascar's isolation and diverse habitats have driven lemur speciation, resulting in over 100 species adapted to unique ecological niches. This evolutionary richness underscores the importance of Madagascar as a biodiversity hotspot. Protecting lemurs is essential not just for their survival, but for preserving Madagascar's unparalleled evolutionary heritage.